Hello, how are you all? Welcome back to another wonderful episode of the Phizcast. I'm your host, Physic, and I return with a sense of new self esteem about this. I've had people compliment me on this, and it's a new experience, I'm not used to. I'm not going to say I'm used to instant gratification because I'm not, but normally it's like I'm just talking to people in the moment. I'm not used to people complimenting creations that I have because I don't often do stuff like this. And it's very nice. It's very nice to finally have something like that. Um, for those of you who did compliment me, thank you very much. I appreciate it more than you know. Um, but yeah, I don't know. It feels really good to finally be doing something like this. But at the same time, it's a bit I don't know. I don't want to say stressful, but it's a bit strange because I am horrendous, absolutely abysmal at keeping schedules. I I don't really know. It's just not one of my fortes, I'll say that. But that doesn't mean I can't work on it. That doesn't mean I can't just, accept that. That doesn't mean I'll just accept that I'm not very good at it right now, so I can just move on and never be good at it, you know? People have suggested things like, keeping planners or whatever, but I feel like that just adds another layer of stress to it because you're like, oh, I have to fill out my planner. I have to plan everything for the week, and I don't know what I'm gonna do, and whatever. Uh, so I don't really like that. All throughout elementary and middle school as well, we had to keep planners where we filled in our assignment every day, so that we could, go back with a reference, and that's not a bad thing in itself. But I never enjoyed that. It was never fun. And eventually they just stopped caring because no one was doing it. No one cared. The teachers never checked. Nothing happened ever. Nothing good ever resulted from those planners. But I guess that's just a personal experience. I know people who have used planners who do write things down and are very responsible and very good at keeping track of things. I suppose it just depends on the person, which I don't know if I've talked about that already. Varying from person to person. I believe I've talked about perspective before, but if I have, I don't know. You can look at things from any perspective that you'd like. As in my point of view, I see planners as useless. I see them as even beyond useless. They're just they actually decrease the efficiency of what I should be doing. But to others, it's the exact opposite. They are centered around that planner, and they're centered they're grounded in the fact that they have a schedule of their own making, which I can understand, of course. But it really just depends on how you look at it. It really and not only how you look at it, in how you've experienced it in the past as well. um Very, very often, past experiences lead to different point of views. I would even go as far as to say every single time past experiences will affect perspective. Because if I don't want to leap straight into trauma, but if you've had bad experiences with something, you'll tend to look at it in a negative light, and vice versa for good experiences. Um, but it's hard. The hard part comes with changing your perspective. It comes with not being able to look at it from another point of view and running into conflicts because of that. Arguments all the time arguments are derived at the base from two people not being able to see the other person's perspective and defending their own point to the death. Oftentimes that ends up being a dangerous way of looking at it because arguments tend to devolve further and further into chaos and being unreasonable the more they go on, simply because you talk in circles. You just try and defend your own point, don't open up your perspective to another point of view, and everyone loses. Everyone loses because you walk out of the argument not learning anything simply because you refuse to open your mind. I'm talking really fast. Anyway, I should talk slower. Dang it, I did it again. Anyway, when it comes to arguments, arguments is a very negatively connotated word. You think of argument and you think of yelling and shouting and screaming and crying and whatever, that's what arguments are. Now, you can have a debate, which is basically the civilized version of an argument. A debate is, usually moderated or by an unbiased third party. They are usually very civil, kept with strict bullet point reasoning as to why one side is correct and the other side is not correct. And oftentimes, as I've learned, and from what I've learned, debates are forced to open up their perspective to the other side and make a point as to why they may be right and as to why people would disagree with themselves, uh, which is a very, very healthy thing to do, I believe. It's a very healthy thing to um, set in that pattern. Because if you refuse to open up your mind, you end up being incapable of learning. That is when things get very dangerous. If you find yourself unable to learn from past experiences, that's when you just sort of stop doing anything. If you stop learning from past experiences, or you stop learning from how people treat you, be based on how you treat them, or if you stop learning from whatever, like a dangerous situation that you may or may not encounter more than once. If you stop opening your mind simply because you believe that you are right and everyone else is wrong, it becomes very dangerous. And if you refuse to accept the fact that you are wrong, it is not good. I don't just want to keep using the analogy of it, snowballing into more and more unhealthy territory, but that's pretty much what it does. Uh, being wrong is okay. It's hard to hear, I know, believe me, but being wrong is fine. It's okay. It's hard sometimes to take a hit like that to your ego because you're incapable of handling such blasphemy, but it's fine to be wrong. The only thing that being wrong can do is help you learn. Obviously, there's extreme scenarios, but no need to dive into the technicalities. Generally, the only thing that being wrong can do is help you learn. Learning is very important because it can prevent you from being wrong in the future, and you start to suffer less of those ego hits. Although, I suppose if you accept the fact that being wrong is okay, your ego's already deflating. But you know what? Open your mind. Always be open to what the other side may be thinking. Always be open to a different point of view. If you're not open to a point of view, you'll find yourself talking in circles, and you'll find yourself running into the same problems over and over again because you refuse to be wrong. Because you refuse to take that needle to your ego balloon and just pop it. It's fine to be wrong. It's that's just it's fine to be wrong. I'll repeat it over and over again, man. I'm serious. It is not fine to tell everyone else they're wrong and say, "Oh, it's okay to be wrong." It's not okay to use that in a condescending fashion. Because I've had that happen to me. It's infuriating when people "Oh, you know what? It's okay to be wrong, Just don't realize that you're wrong and accept it." Using it in a condescending fashion is disgusting. Don't do that. But use it more for yourself. Less of a lesson and more for yourself. It sounds kind of hypocritical, me using it as a lesson, but again, I don't like diving into technicalities because that's a 10-minute episode on itself. Open your mind. Be wrong sometimes. Learn. See the other side. And you'll find yourself being a lot happier. Being a lot more personable. Because I do know people who are never wrong. I do know people who are just never wrong. Never, ever, ever wrong. I guarantee you I myself am that sometimes too. Simply because I have an ego. Everyone does. I don't like being wrong. It's not fun. But it's okay. All it does is help me learn. And I've been getting better at accepting that. Forgive my rambling. Forgive my repeating and an incessant drilling of that one message into your head. I don't even know where this episode started. But it got here, and that's what matters. You walk away with this message that was already said, and I walk away finally recording another episode and being happy with myself. All right. Thank you very much for tuning in. I apologize if the audio is a little bit quiet or polluted, because again, I got sorry. Again, I got kicked out of my old recording room, so apologies if this is budget, but it's all right. I suppose, you know what? I'll just have to find my way around it. Thank you for tuning in very much. I will see you when I see you. That felt forced. Either way, I'll see you when I see you. Bye bye.